What we do here is go back, 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 back.
We're back with another episode of Culture Junkies Live. Sorry we're a little bit late, but today we're going to have a really good show for you all. Today, like last week, we mentioned we're going to talk about some of the best shows that are on TV, and we're going to pick up that conversation and go on with it. So joining me today is going to be Super Nerd Plus, GQ, and the Great Dada Coochie. How you doing, guys?
Doing well.
Fantabulous.
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Super
Hell
Nerd.
yeah. What up,
Yeah.
though?
So let's see. Actually, no. Let me actually transition that back real quick. A real quick announcement for something that we're going to be doing this weekend, programming wise. Let me let you guys know we are going to be hosting a stream for Free Comic Book Day with our friends Green Brain Comics. And hosting the show is going to be none other than Mr. Superstar himself, Mr. Dapper, Mr. GQ. So what are we gonna be doing there, man? What we gonna be talking about?
It's going to be an interesting day. It'll be the day right after Guardians of the Galaxy. So, I mean, that's obviously going to have some conversation. Definitely going to sit down with Dan, the owner, or co owner, rather, of Green Brain, and, pick his brain for a couple of minutes, no pun intended, about his store, the history of his involvement with Free Comic Book Day, and just basically going to have a good time. I think it'll be an interesting day. We're going to be streaming for 3 hours, so it's going to be a lot of opportunity to get a lot of different content. If you're in the area, feel free to obviously stop by, and if you got something interesting to say, might even put you on the show.
Whereabouts is Green Brain Comics?
Don't remember the exact address, but it's in Dearborn, Michigan, off of Michigan Avenue. Obviously, anybody with a smartphone can do a search for Green
Gonna
Brain
let them
Comics,
do all
and
the legwork.
yeah, heck yeah.
Google it.
Man,
Google
yeah,
it. Yeah, right.
they'll exactly. Yeah, that's what Google was made for.
Yeah,
Google
right.
send us check.
Right. Get you. Yeah. Google send a check. Please send a check. Please send a check. Absolutely. So yeah, join the show. What time are we gonna be on? What time?
Um, well, they open up at 10 o'clock. I don't think we're going to start streaming the moment they open. I mean, that'd be a little bit
Mm-hmm.
insane. We could try. It might,
Yeah, we should
might be
shoot for
kind of
that.
fun. Yeah, I mean, I look at it this way. I think we'll let them do their festivities, the ribbon cutting and all that sort of thing, and we'll start streaming as soon as they open the door, basically. So yeah, technically, I guess we'll be streaming from 10 to 1, somewhere in that range.
Okay. All right. Um. Oh, lest we forget, it's going to be, well, I'm going to be behind the scenes, so you're not going to see me. But Super Nerd, you're going to be there. What are you going to be doing?
I will be volunteering. If you're gonna see me at the door, maybe I don't know, doing something helping wise, you're gonna see me in all this glory. Come see me. Come
All,
hang out. Shake
all,
my
all
hand.
his
Get an
glory,
autograph if you like. No,
autograph.
I'm gonna be respectable. I'm not gonna be a complete dick. 'Cause, I love the shop and I love the people that work there. So
Right. Marcus Smith
yeah,
is saying
I'm
he
gonna be
says
normal.
he'll visit if we pony up and buy him a plane ticket. We down for that?
Ah,
Man, with a
we
punter to
gotta
buy
have.
you a bus ticket.
Greyhound, Greyhound, dude. Yeah, get on that Greyhound and get over here. Uh, yeah. So, you've been to Free Comic Book Day at Green Brain before. Tell a little bit, Super Nerd. What's it like there?
It it
What
is
makes it so hype?
crazy. It's hype because Dan and Katie. Dan, if you're in the area, you know how Dan is as far as being an activist or not active, activist into the community, and he's always bringing people into the community doing things. He had artists there. He had a huge tent. He's had different artists show. It was either local artists or some artists in the industry that aren't local to Michigan, and they were doing like drawings, different kind of artwork. It was just a cool environment to be. around and seeing everybody from talking about kids was there, parents with their kids. It was just different people, and they all knew Dan. Dan knew who each of his customers. I wouldn't call them customers. They the, it was his friends basically that he knew who they were because he knew them by their first name. That's what's cool. Like not most comic book owners, know their the customers that come in there and shop.
Mm-hmm.
Dan and Katie know who they are by their first name, know what they like. They, the great recommendations on things. The whole environment was cool. It was, and the line, it was, and it was good when the line was long. I like that. I like when the line is long. It didn't take that long to get in. It was like they had like a little zigzag, or whatever, into the shop, and then it get your books, talk to people. Bam, you go out. Then when you go out through the back door, that's when the tent is set up at. And this year's gonna be different because it's gonna be different things going on. But just last year alone, it was just cool just seeing how they set it up and go through this whole in and out thing, whatever, and you get to meet the artists and whatnot. And there was a lot of artists out there too for that small parking lot to be
Mm-hmm.
pretty unique. I like
Okay.
that.
All right. It's live entertainment. A bunch of free
Live
comic
entertainment.
books. Bunch of sponsors as well. GQ. What sponsors are going to be there? Did we list those off?
Um, I know we had a list up. I mean, this is the most recent one. It's going to be East Dearborn, Downtown Development Authority, Beaumont Health, and Beaumont Health Hospital out of Dearborn. City of Dearborn is actually supposed to be getting involved in some capacity. Jesse Rupenfield is a artist actually who did the poster. I think he's a poster artist actually. So he's going to be involved, and of course us as the Culture Junkies are going to be there live for the event. So going to be
Yeah,
shaping
we
up
get
pretty good. They've also got
as a little bit of a sponsor. All
some
right.
ways for people to earn extra free comics, so to speak. Normally, most stores kind of limits you to about 3 books, but Dan's got a couple of ways that you can earn some extra comics if you donate some canned goods to Gleaners. Basically, it's like a food bank. Gleaners is in a lot of cities all around the country, but obviously
Yeah.
this is the one devoted to here in Michigan, and
Right.
they're also going to be doing a cell phones for soldiers drive. So if you got any
Right.
old used phones or that sort of thing, you bring one of those in and donate. You can get another extra book. So I
Right.
mean, it's a good way for her for him to give back to the community in a sense. Also a good way to support some really good organizations that are out there, and also
Absolutely.
hey, you as a fan, you get extra books on top of what you normally get for free comic book day. I mean, it's a win-win for both sides.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, a little shout out to Q. This Saturday is going to be Q's birthday. He actually invited me to a barbecue, but obviously I cannot make it. So, early happy birthday salutations to you, sir. And Simon Says is over there on YouTube watching, so we want to say what's up to him. Poetic Fire is over there on Twitch, so what's up? But let's go ahead and let's get down to the nitty gritty. Talking about some of the topics that we want to cover today. Um, obviously, this weekend is Guardians of the Galaxy. So let's recap a little bit about how do we think this one's going to be compared to the first one. You think this one's going to recapture the magic of the first film? What are you looking forward to the most out of this film, and what do you think is going to mean moving forward for the Marvel Cinematic Universe? So, Dido, let's hear from you first. What are you looking forward to the most from this movie?
Well. Uh, I look forward to the movie, period. And I always go into sequels, just me, a little bit jaded because there's very rarely a sequel that does it better than the original. I mean, it happens from time to time. One on the top of my head is Terminator 2. Everybody knows it was way better than the first one. Yeah, I had to go back that
Mm-hmm.
far, but I want it to be just as good because the characters are basically the same. My fear is this, and they're already kind of showing it to me in the trailers, is that it's going to be too much Baby Groot. And I realize why he's there. It's to sell toys, get the women in there that thinks he's cute, blah. It was kind of a joke, a gag at the end of the first movie. That was cool. I kind of wish he would have grown up to be Groot again. Now, I know trees take a long time to grow, and he basically kind of coming back from whatever he did to get turned into Baby Groot. But I think it's going to be too much, cuteness with the baby Groot.
I agree.
I
I
just hope
agree
that
for the
doesn't
same
ruin the
thing.
movie for me.
I don't think it's gonna ruin the movie, but I agree the fact that why they focusing on him. At the same time, like, a tree does take a while to grow, so I get that aspect of it. I just hope that it doesn't, like you said, get too much off on Groot and let the other characters shine. Which I'm sure they will, But I try not to see that many Marvel trailers because I want to be surprised. Like GQ always said, most of these trailers nowadays they show way too much of everything. So I don't want to read nothing about it. I don't want to know nothing about the plot. I watch one trailer and that's it. I don't want to see no second or third trailer. I want to be surprised when I'm in the theater. My expectations basically is I just want the story to. I just want different stuff to pop up from the Marvel universe, which I love that Marvel do. Also, I just want the story to pass on and get ready for the next Marvel thing, which is Amazing Spider-Man.
Okay,
Can't wait for that too. Looking
fair
forward
Because
to
enough.
that.
I'm a fan of Spider-Man, so
Well, who wouldn't
you
be, right?
know,
Who wouldn't be?
you know.
So
Yeah. So
honestly, right now on Rotten Tomatoes, I'm looking at it right now. It's 85% certified fresh. Um, some of the knocks I have seen on it though is that it obviously it can't recapture the magic of the first one, but they're saying it's a little bit bloated and maybe it's a little bit tired. GQ, you think maybe Marvel might be kind of slowing down as far as like being, can do no wrong type deal? Because I
I
mean,
think
Iron Fist was kind of bad. So
well, Iron Fist again, and I think that's part of the reason that the two entities are separate. Because it's like if you have a failure in one division, it doesn't necessarily bleed over into the other one that's doing
mhm.
successful. Um, as far as Guardians being bloated, I mean, it's like, okay, I don't really see how that could be the case because you've had the first movie that introduced all of the main characters, Yandu, all the Guardians themselves, the Ravagers, the whole shebang. So anybody else that's in, yeah, you're gonna get, John Travolta's characters as his dad. I'm not sorry, not John Travolta. Kurt
Kurt
Russell.
Russell.
I don't believe I just said that.
mhm.
Kurt Russell's character as his father. Then
Uh-huh.
Sylvester Stallone, who Anthony Minter just had mentioned, is in the movie at some capacity. Didn't even see him in the trailer. So I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing who's going to be where and who's going to be playing which characters.
Right.
And as far as juggling multiple characters, Marvel's been very good at that so far. I mean, you look at Civil War. I mean, look at all those characters that they had in that film, and they brought in a couple of new guys. Whatever. Everybody had their time to shine in the movie, especially in the airport fight. So it's like, unless you are just the type of person that as soon as somebody shows up, you have to be explained every single thing about that character, and you can't just like see how it flows into the scenes and see how it flows into the plots and the story that's going on. I, I don't see how Guardians could be bloated or be one of those situations where it's like, oh, there's too much going on.
I don't
Okay.
It's
see
like
that. I
I'd rather
agree.
there be a lot
You,
going
you don't
on.
see it.
So
Okay. I can understand that. I can understand that. So here we go. How about this? Here's some of the things that they're saying that is bad about the film. They're saying uh perhaps it's too over the top with the jokes, too many of the jokes. One critic says it's a rare misstep for the usually sure-footed folks behind the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You do have Sylvester Stallone in there. You have, maybe Miley Cyrus. I hear has a little bit of a cameo. You got Mantis being in there. You got, like you said, Yandu has more of an expanded role in this film. So does Nebula, possibly. I mean, so there may be some credence to
Here's
it.
no, because those are critics saying this, correct? These are the same
Yeah.
critics that never read a comic book either, because comic books have enough characters. It don't have to be a major crossover. You can go, you read a comic book, and then 3 or 4 pages in, you might see 2, 3, 4 characters from another extended universe, and then go back into the main story. It's just how comic books. I look at all this the cinematic universe as one big comic book because it actually feels and reads like a comic book. Despite what people make problems that have with it, page by page, it feels like a comic book,
dude,
and that's
pick up an X-Men
thank
book
you,
during the Jim Lee era. You had at
thank you.
Yeah.
least at any given
Hold on.
time, 10 or 12 main characters
True.
throughout whatever book. So it's
All right.
like can't keep up with a couple of different characters being thrown at you, whether they're brand new
Right.
characters in the story or, excuse me, ones that are coming in from the last film. That's on you. I'm sorry,
Right.
I can't get
Okay.
behind people that are like, oh, there's too much going on. Watch it again then and find out what you missed.
Okay. That brings up a good point. That
Because
might
that's
increase the rewatchability or the replayability of some of these films if you have to watch it multiple times in order to find out what you missed. I mean, hell, that's what the DCEU fans were saying about Batman vs Superman. They're saying, "Oh, it's so sophisticated, you might have missed something. Hey, so maybe you should watch it again."
X-Men comic book right here. Look who's on the cover. Look who's on the cover.
Let me see. It's so grainy because your internet connection is so bad. I
Whatever.
can't really see, but it
Whatever.
looks
Anyway.
like it's Colossus and Wolverine and Storm and is that Psylocke in the
This
top or
Beast, I
bottom
like
left
Gambit.
and
Yeah, I
Beast?
remember that
Yeah,
cover.
yeah. So
Yeah, this is the
okay,
Jet Li cover.
yeah,
So you
Yep.
mean to tell me that they're bloated? Okay, yeah, whatever.
yeah.
I don't want to
All
hear
right.
that
So
shit from.
all right, fair enough. Fine. So obviously we all have to go see it for ourselves and we'll be gladly willing to come back. Actually, no, check out our free comic book day stream. GQ and I, well, or GQ at least, will be talking about Guardians of the Galaxy, his thoughts, and perhaps also to some of the guests about what they thought about Guardians of the Galaxy. But let's move on a little bit to another somewhat slight controversial topic. With the ramping up of Wonder Woman, which had a sneak peek come out yesterday. Now, the argument has always been, and I think Mega Sean brought this up in the group, and some other people have brought this up in the group, that why aren't they advertising for this film? And I've countered, and others have countered, that it is being hyped up and that it is being promoted. But I think this might be a sign that DC is actually wising up, because in these trailers they're pretty much showing the same footage that they've always shown. You haven't really seen anything new. GQ, you agree with that assessment?
I agree. It's something that they needed to do. Now, here's what I think people are forgetting. Marketing has changed over the years, and the reason it's changed is look at excuse me, look at YouTube, for example. Excuse me. If you don't have YouTube Red, obviously you get ads, at the beginning of almost every single video you watch. What they do is they use the meta tags, they use the various, tags and various things that based on your viewing history to kind of push ads towards you that fit what you like. So unless you're one of those people that constantly is looking at all the comic book shows, all the comic book related things, you're probably not going to see very many comic book related ads unless, let's say, for example, DC bought up a lot of ad space or a lot of ad time, so to speak, on YouTube. Now, if they've done that, you're going to see a bunch of Wonder Woman stuff. If they haven't, you're going to see Wonder Woman stuff elsewhere. So I think that's what people are forgetting, that it's like, look, a lot of people watch stuff on Hulu. A lot of people watch stuff on Fire Stick now. So your standard TV spots are getting missed by a huge, huge numbers of people. So just because you haven't seen a Wonder Woman ad doesn't mean that there aren't Wonder Woman ads out there. They're there
Right.
on regular network TV. It's just if you're not watching regular network TV, guess what? You're getting all of your, customized Minority Report style ads that are literally, catering to what your normal likes and what your normal viewing habits are.
Here's something that I really like, and you can speak to this, Dido, and possibly you too, Super Nerd. What I like is that they haven't shown, Ares is supposed to be the big bad. You haven't seen a hint of him anywhere, like nowhere. You haven't seen Ares. You really don't know who Diana is really fighting. They're keeping that allure of mystery to it. So do you think possibly they have really learned their lesson here? And does that increase your desire to see Wonder Woman and maybe find out more? Maybe they might have hit it out of the park this time.
Well, for me, I'm glad because again, we've talked about this, in the past. DC does show too much, in my honest opinion. Case in point, we'll have to go back just for our watchers out there. Maybe you guys know or don't know. Batman versus Superman last year. You knew what was going to happen because they showed it in the credits. You knew Wonder Woman was going to show up, and you knew that Doomsday was going to be the big bad.
Don't call him
So
Day Day.
you call him,
Day
yeah.
Day. I like that.
So me personally, I am in the category of I watch everything streaming and I don't see commercials. I do have YouTube Red and I watch Hulu's and Netflix, and I don't pay for freaking commercials. If I'm gonna pay, I'm not trying to watch commercials, and it's fine by me, because when it comes to movies, I don't really want to watch them. I'm like you, super nerd. I don't want to see. I want to go in the movie theater, and it's not a spoiler issue really too much for me because I don't really feel like I'm being spoiled. It's just I want to see it for the first time there because it's been so many times I'm sitting in the movie theater and you just see these scenes like, oh, I've seen this scene before. Like even those previews that we get, passes to. Show me the full movie or don't show me anything because I don't want to see. Oh, here's 5 minute scene. Here's 5 minutes. Why do I want to see that? I'm already hyped for the movie. I don't need to see that to be hyped for the movie. What? Come on. Just if you're gonna give me passes, give me some sneak peek. Show me the whole movie. That would be great. That's just me.
Okay, fair enough. So we'll leave that to the rest of Junkie Nation to debate whether DC has finally learned their lesson. Sure, we'll have Wonder Woman comes out in one more month. So we'll have plenty of time to talk about it before then. But one comment from Anthony Mentor. He says DC has to win his respect back for live action movies, which I don't doubt.
Absolutely.
They really need to give the directors of their animations a shot because they're better storytellers. GQ.
Speaking of that,
you don't really think that the animators could do exactly what the filmmakers can do you?
It's a fine line that you draw with that because here's the rub on that. An animator has the luxury of anything I think of, I can put it pen to paper and make it happen. It'll be cheaper to make it happen because there's no effects, there's no planning out a scene, there's no worrying about pyro, there's none of that. You literally put pen to paper, or obviously in this day and age, a tablet, with a stylus and all that, and draw out what you need to have happen, and you can make it happen. If the studio can't believe in your vision on that, then there's your problem. Because remember, now let's just go back a couple years. They had a hard time accepting putting Wonder Woman on screen. Even is it going to work and this and that and blah blah blah. And it's just like, we go over here at Marvel and Disney, and they're like, talking raccoon, talking tree, let's go. And they did it. So I mean, it really depends on the studio. And again, let's just be real. Disney's bread and butter for decades, even before all of us were born, was animation. So they have a very strong history in believing in animation and the power of animation. That's why you're taking all of their classics and making them live action. But again, they've got ILM, so it's kind of like the deck is stacked heavily in their favor on that one.
but
It can be done though. I mean, again, I know what you're saying though. The animators have great vision and great ideas. You got to convince the studio to pay for that.
Yep.
On the piggyback on that, I mean, you forgot about Tim Miller doing Deadpool, and he basically came from animation side of it anyway, video game animation. So
granted, but he also had Ryan Reynolds basically going to all of those, going to those studio heads like, look, guys, we can make this work. This is what this guy you need. If Tim Miller did an amazing job with that film, but if it wasn't for Ryan Reynolds, that film never would have been made.
Absolutely.
Like, end of story. I mean, it's like he literally was the ambassador between the creative side and the studio side. It's like, look, guys, I'm putting up some of my own money. This guy is great. He gets, this character, and we can make this work. And obviously they did. Now, and Fox is probably smarter now. They've smartened up. They actually were like, hey, you know what? Let's let Marvel do some stuff with Spider-Man, and boom, we'll see what happens with that. So it really takes somebody, unfortunately, to get in there and basically get these guys to pull their heads out of their asses and be like, look, there's money to be made, a lot of it. You guys just have to be willing to take that chance.
All right, fair enough. Let's leave that right there. Let's transition into the main topic of the show, which is we're going to be talking about the best shows that are on TV right now, regardless of the medium that they are delivered on. So we're talking network TV, we're talking Netflix, we're talking Amazon, we're talking HBO, whether it be on HBO Go, we're talking Stars, whatever whatever your favorite comic book related or sci-fi or fantasy related shows. What are the best that are on TV? So we're all going to kind of try and pick one. We may have some overlap, but we definitely want to hear from you as well. Which ones yours favorite are? And I'm going to start right off on the rip and go with the one that was on the title card. I know it wasn't showing at the beginning, but the title card was showing Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Now, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has had a lot of ups and downs. I guess that's the best way to say it. But without question, the move to 10 p.m., which I was very skeptical about, has definitely helped this show because I'm telling you, that's some of the best scripted comic book action on TV right now. What do you guys think?
Action wise, yeah, most definitely. It's gotten a lot better. Is it the time slot that made it better? I don't know. Do they do more stuff? I don't really see too many more people getting killed, and that's usually the thing. Oh, kids are asleep. Oh, they don't have to. So no, I just think that the writing and they finally got their pace just right, because I believe in the beginning they really did want to work in the TV show with the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And they were trying to do that, and people didn't really care for it. And you saw that kind of with the whole thing with Winter Soldier and whatnot. They kind of were, had the thing going up to Winter Soldier and the after effects of what was happening. And for whatever reason, the two executives for the TV and the movies can't get along, which is the dumbest fucking thing in the world. They found their own stride, and I really like what they're doing this season, specifically with all the characters in like Fitz. Man, that guy is just like, wow.
Oh my God, Fitz.
I was like, how is he gonna recover from this? Because I'm pretty sure he's gonna remember everything he did in that thing.
Mm-hmm.
How is that gonna affect him? And that's the part that kind of upsets me, is because I have a feeling, I think there's only like 3 episodes left for the season. They're probably not gonna get out till maybe the last episode, and then we got to wait a whole season to see the effects. That's kind of assholey for me. But
yeah.
I really like what they're doing with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It is my favorite action show that's on TV right now. But granted, I don't watch a lot of action shows on TV because I don't really know any other ones that are worthy of watching.
So you don't watch any other like comic book or sci-fi fantasy related shows on
I
TV?
probably watched
what's
them
one of your
already. I mean, if you're talking about Luke Cage or Iron Fist, I've watched them already.
No. We're talking like what's on TV right now, or like has just been recently released. You got anything?
I mean, action, that's my favorite right now. I mean, if we were talking comedy, if we were talking, sitcoms, if we were talking stuff like that, which I assume that we will.
Go ahead.
Well, because like I said, that's the only action show that I watch right now. I mean, I watched The Flash, if you want to call it action show, but I haven't watched it in the last few weeks, mainly because kind of like that. But no, and see, the thing is, I get that because I like the show. I like kind of where they're going at. But when you do a musical episode, I don't care how good the episode comes out, you kind of lose my interest. I did not watch the musical episode, and I have not watched Flash since before the musical episode, and I want to pick it back up again, but I really haven't had a feeling to do it because it's just that to me is jumping the shark, and you're too early to jump the shark to do a freaking musical episode. I don't care how talented the actors are. I don't care whose idea it was. Okay, come on.
Yeah.
Hit me.
I feel you. I feel you.
No period.
The chat rooms are absolutely on fire right now with a bunch of really good suggestions. But GQ, I want to get what's your favorite show on TV is right now. What should people really be watching?
Like I said, I mean, I agree with the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. assessment for sure. I mean, I'm definitely enjoying what they are doing with Fitz. I always like it when you take a character that's nice and pretty, quote unquote lovable, and flip them. That's why I'm really digging the Captain America flip into making him a Hydra agent, because it pisses off a lot of people, and it's just like, look, it's like I'm getting this feeling that a lot of these people that are mad at like Cap being turned into a Hydra agent are the same type of people that were mad when Hulk Hogan joined the NWO. It's like dude,
yes,
freaking
I like
character. It's like, it's a damn character. You can go bad. There's nothing wrong with that. Those things happen. To me, those are some of the better stories when you have a hero who turns his back on everything that he's been fighting for because it's like he gets to a realization of this means absolutely nothing. And maybe I have been on the wrong side of this whole thing or whatever. So I like that. And I'm really interested to see what happens with Fitz. Like you said, if like Dido said, if he remembers the things that he's been doing in within this construct, once he gets out of, the stasis or whatever that they've got him in. So I mean, I really want to see what the after effects are going to be because I like this whole
Me too.
Agents of Hydra thing. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
It's
really cool.
good
So I mean, I have
stuff.
no problem
Really
with it.
good stuff. Really, really good stuff. So you said Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is your favorite. You got any others that you wanted to mention that you're watching right
I
now?
was watching Flash, and like Dido, once they came up with that musical episode, I'm like, I'm done. Like you guys are, it's like you try to have this whole thing, and I've actually mentioned it a couple shows before. This whole thing, and unfortunately, speedsters are always his freaking big bads on every single season so far. And it's like you
Yep.
got this guy Savitar coming in, he's gonna kill Iris and this and that, but yet and still you got time to pull out a musical episode right in the middle of that arc. It's like that's stupid to me. I don't care how it fits into the whole storyline or whatever they were telling. It's dumb. It's like you had the tension level way up here. It's like when is Avatar going to come in and kill this girl, or how they going to figure it out? And then at the same time, you're like, oh, but musical, and because these guys were on Glee, let's get them singing again. It's like hell no, it's stupid.
Okay, speaking
Stupid.
of, good characters being flipped, now obviously one of the big, kind of threads that they've let out there is that Caitlyn is now, turned into Killer Frost, and she has no recourse or desire to want to go back to being Caitlyn Snow. She wants to do that heel turn and kind of stick with it. Could that be something that might pique your interest and get you back into the Flash despite the hangups on the musical episodes?
Yes.
Flash, well, no, Flash for me is going to have to. They're going to have to like just basically watch the rest of the season on Blu-ray because
Okay.
I have
They
no
I'm
real
not,
lost you.
desire to. Yeah, I'm not like I'm honestly not in it really pressed to even watch the episodes on demand because I'm like, dude, you guys really pissed me off. It's like I don't like when they just suddenly, do silly. You know me, I hate silly. So it's like if you throw silly in the middle of something when you got a whole bunch of other things going on, I'm done.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
I
Hey,
know the
Super
feels,
Nerd.
but I gotta finish it. I gotta finish it.
Yeah. All
So
right. Super Nerd.
I
A
watched
lot
it
of people in the
eventually.
chat. One show that is absolutely coming up, and I know you watched it, and so we can talk about it now. It's a brand new show that just premiered on Stars. American Gods. A lot of people are saying that this show is really good. It's got Crispin Glover. It's got what's my man uh, uh, badass dude, a great actor from Ghost of New York or something. Not Ghost of New York. Uh, but
Come on,
you know what I
gangs in
mean?
New York.
Yeah, Kings of New York. Kings of New York.
Oh, Kings. Okay, I'm about to say
Yeah, Kings of New York, not Ghosts of New York. My bad, my bad. But
Ghost of
it's got a
Mars.
lot of people in it. So briefly, what makes American Gods so dope, man? Can you tell me? Super Nerd. Did he check out? He must check out.
He's
He
not
must have.
listening to you anymore.
He must not be listening. I don't know what. We'll come back to it. But a lot of people are talking about. Let me break up. Let me go back up. Let's see. King Takeem said Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. Now, I've never
I
watched the
like
show. I've heard a
Unbreakable
lot of
Kimmy
really good
Schmidt.
stuff about Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
Yeah.
That's a comedy, right? That's a
It
comedy
is a
show, right?
comedy.
Okay.
It's a comedy. It's made by Tina Fey, and it is very.
Okay.
If you like the comedy style of 30 Rock, you'll like it. It is very similar. It's not starring Tina Fey. I forget the main character's name, and it's essentially about a woman who, when she was a teenager, a little girl got kidnapped by a guy that was in a cult, held her captive for like 20 some odd years, and now she's just getting out in present time, and she's still kind of stuck in the 90s, though she's in her 30s. And she's trying to make a way for herself, being not educated and all this other stuff, and she's in New York City, and it's friggin' hilarious. And I love the first two seasons of Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. That's a really good comedy to watch on Netflix. If you have nothing to watch, I say sit down and watch that.
Okay. Here's another one that actually I really loved, and I'm glad that it's back. Finally back. Just came on with a new episode yesterday. And it's on Fox, and that's Lucifer. Which is back on Fox. I've always really liked that show. I know Josh just kind of knocked it for being like a cheap cop procedural show thrown in with
It
the
is.
devil in there, but I don't know. I just maybe it's because I like the main character, the guy that plays plays Lucifer. He plays him. He's really charming. I enjoy his interactions with the other members of the cast, and maybe that might have something to do with it. So I don't know.
He's a one trick pony. That's the problem I have with it. Like I started watching Lucifer based on your recommendation, based on Hand of Omega. Hi, Hand of Omega. I was looking at the screen because it's in the chat, but he turned it on to me, and I liked the first season. It was done real well. But then the same formula for the second season. People tell me I've never read the comic. It's
totally
nothing
different.
like the comic.
Totally different.
And
totally
I wish they would try to change that up, because it did just turn into a cop what mystery can we solve this week? Yeah, right. Exactly. And that I stopped watching that because of that. It started to get boring. I wanted something more, but I did like it, at least the first season. So the TV nowadays, I'm really sticking to Netflix for a lot of stuff, and I'll end up waiting until a series is over and just binging it.
Oh, I think he's back. Are you back, Super Nerd?
Yeah, I'm back.
All right, bet. Let's back it up. I was calling you out to talk a little bit about American Gods. Why is American Gods so fire, man? I mean, a lot of people are talking about it in the chat. What was making it so good?
And like I said, I've never read the comic book. I heard of it. I know it's Neil Gaiman. I love his work. Just the opening sequence was it felt like a comic book. Like the graphics, the CG they did in there, and the choreography was on point. I've never seen an opening sequence like that. It was hardcore, and then just the dialogue in it was like something. Because most of his characters are either like trippy or deranged as fuck. Neil Gaiman's work, and I think the actors that portray the characters it drew me into him. Just the dialogue itself, I was like, whoa, okay, like it was intense, and I like stuff that's intense like that, and it's just bizarre and so left. It doesn't necessarily have to. It's not for the weak stomachs, I should say. Just with the dialect and the vulgarity of it, So it's like that's my kind of shit, and I love it for the fact that they're not holding back anything. So I will watch American Gods over and over again. I watched when it came on twice, and I watched it twice. I'm like, I had to watch it because it was so dope, and that pretty much drew me into that.
Okay. So. Okay. All right. So it's nothing. So you don't know whether it's not like the comic book to you anyway.
I don't know, because I never read the comic book, so I can't say. But just visualizing, seeing it, and I was like, oh damn, it's cool. It was the action in it was cool in the beginning. Opening sequences blew my mind. If you like, I'm not gonna give it away, so I'm not gonna say what's it about. But I mean, it's mythology. If you know Neil Gaiman, is mostly mythology in a modern day sense. So think of mythical gods, and I know it's GQ like mythical gods as well. So mythical gods in a modern day thing, what's going on today in this world with mythical gods. And it was just and whatever stars did, who the graphics is, CG, man, they pulled some shit off in one sequence. I was like, wait, what just happened? Did she do what I think she just did? And it blew my mind. It was crazy. It was dope.
Okay. All right. Well, another show I actually see. And how many of us have Amazon Prime, like watching?
I do.
You do? Okay. You don't. Well, yeah. Okay. Well,
it's not a lot of
one
stuff
show
on
that
there.
they talk about. Yeah, it's apparently got some really really good shows on there. King Takeem is talking about Bosch, but I also saw let's see yeah, Bosch. I saw Bosch was on there, but also saw that what is it? King Takeem also said Sneaky Pete and Goliath. I'm not really well versed in those shows, so I don't know. But Hand of Omega is also saying Justice League action has really hit its stride. Now, okay, we've all complained about Justice League, or at least I shouldn't say Justice League. I should say Teen Titans Go being taken off, or like taking off on Cartoon Network, and Young Justice kind of being treated like redheaded stepchild with the scheduling and stuff like that. When in the hell does Justice League action even come on? Because I never see it on Cartoon Network. But apparently, according to Hand of Omega, it's hit its stride and it has turned into the Justice League show that we've all been wanting since Justice League Unlimited finished. Has anybody watched it and like paid attention to it? Anybody watched it or have a
I've
comment on
only
it?
watched it because of Hand of Omega, and it's not a bad show at all. I mean, if you like the original Justice League, you'll like the show because it is very similar to it. It's not goofy like Teen Titans, at least not what I saw. The animation is a little bit different. You get the original voice actors back from Justice League. What's his name? Kevin Conroy and not Tim Daly. Is it Tim Daly or Bruce Daly? I know it's father or son. I think it's Tim Daly.
Tim
That does
Daly.
that does Superman's voice. You get those voices back. So it's a very similar show. It's all straight up action for the most part because it's only 15 minutes long. So they're for whatever reason they decided to do the shorts. I'm not too happy about it. I'd rather have a 22-minute. That's only 7 minutes less. So
Well,
whatever.
no, here's the problem I have with that though, and this is where I bring up a couple of shows that you've recommended, like Star Wars Rebels and Clone Wars and all that.
Yeah.
Remember the Clone Wars, original Clone Wars animated that was like
Oh yeah.
3-minute shorts, all action. Those were great.
They were.
They make for great music videos and all that sort of thing. The issue and the part of the reason Justice League worked so well and Justice League Unlimited worked so well was the storytelling. Yes, the action was on point, but the storytelling is what really was carrying those episodes. Like you got involved in the episodes themselves of like, dude, this like the question episode and all the various things that they had going. So the action, yes, is a great draw, but if that's all they're hanging their hat on, then they're missing what made Justice League a great cartoon. And
I can agree with that, but I haven't watched enough of this to actually say if it does have that in there because I think I've seen like 1 or 2 episodes, and I don't really remember the continuity there. But then again, the episodes that I could have seen could have not been back to back. I don't really know. Hand of Omega is in the chat, and he should be able to answer that because I'm pretty sure he watched them all as well as Teen Titans Go because he loves that show. But it's strawberry milk. He sits there, strawberry milk, sitting there Indian style, watching Teen Titans Go. But
I have to.
Hold on, he's pulling an Eric Stoltz from Pulp Fiction.
I have to give a shout out to all the junkies that are in the chat. You guys are absolutely killing it in the chat right now. A lot of really good suggestions of shows that people really should be watching. One of which that nobody's talking about. Hand of Omega brought up. Nobody's talking about Black Sails, and he says Black Sails is better than Game of Thrones. But another one that a lot of people have said a lot about that we haven't mentioned yet is has just come back too is Into the Badlands. I still haven't seen season 1, but that's just me. But Into the Badlands obviously is the martial arts / Iron Fist show that Marvel deserved to have. That's what a lot of people are saying. Why should we be watching Into the Badlands?
Well, Into the Badlands is legit. Into the Badlands is legit. It's a very, very well done show. They've established, their world very well. I mean, it's one of those situations where it's not like, okay, we took like this or this anime, it took this or this anime. It's like, no, we made our own thing. We got a good martial artist to be the star of the show. The dude reminds me so much of Donnie Yen every time I look at him, though. But it's like they've done a good job with the show, and that's why it was renewed, obviously, because strong characters, good plot, basically, and let's just be real. I mean, we don't have stuff like that that often. Everybody's going towards the zombie or the vampire thing. You get a whole bunch of zombie and vampire shows, or you get a whole bunch of comic book shows. But there's nothing wrong with that. This walks that line of being like one of those old school kung fu, movies, but it's a series that also has, almost anime like, action sequences. So I mean, it's like it's kind of the best of all worlds in that regard.
Okay. All right. Well, I definitely need to be checking it out. That's for sure. I know that. Of course, some people are saying, MST3K is back on Netflix, and that's one to check. That's something to check out if you like that type of thing. The Magicians is something that Hand of Omega is talking about.
I gotta check it out.
Dear White People is something that's on Netflix now too. That I saw the trailer for that, and that looked funny. And I have to admit, I'm looking forward to checking it out. I still haven't seen the movie, and I wanted to see the movie. I know a lot of people were like really, really salty about it for whatever reason, crying white tears or whatnot. Remember when that was first announced and like the trailer first came out and a bunch of white people were saying, "So I'm gonna cancel my Netflix subscription. Why you shouldn't have this racist show on this network?" And all this other kind of shit. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
So is
Oh, yeah.
I'm
I
sure
remember
people did
that.
it, but I mean, how many people canceled their subscriptions because BET came on cable? I mean, it's like
Exactly.
Good point.
let's be realistic. I mean, it's like there's plenty of stuff on TV that's not for me. Yeah, do I complain about it? No, I don't watch it.
Nah.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's
Yeah,
like
keep
people
pushing.
need to learn that lesson. It's like all the outrage and this is actually what kind of gets on my nerves about a lot of people in society nowadays. Anyway, they're so worried about what the other people are doing, what this person's doing, what that group is doing. You focus on you. As long as you
Right.
good, as long as you ain't out there, killing, raping, pillaging, and doing all that sort of thing, you're good. So what are you worried about what the next man is doing or the next
Right.
woman or whatever, man? Mind your business, stay in your lane.
I ask myself that question all the time. Just don't be an asshole to somebody else. Live your life. Things
That's
will
like
be great.
that's like
Do
watching a
you,
porno.
man?
Like, man, he ain't
Just
hitting it
do
right.
you.
Hey,
Do
that's like
you,
watching a
boo?
porno. That's like watching a porno and talking, man, he ain't hitting it right. I don't like the way he hitting that. It's
Yo, man,
it's not good. It's not good. I don't like the way that person is hitting her
Wait a minute.
from behind. I don't know. It's popped in my head. Sorry.
Only you, dog. Only you would say some shit like that.
Actually, your brother used to say that,
Oh,
Chris.
man.
Worst part is,
Your brother used to say that. Your brother used to say that, Dadakuji.
worst part is though, you're gonna put that on a shirt, aren't you?
Hell
What?
yeah.
He ain't hitting it right.
He said, I don't
Yeah.
like the way you hitting it.
Yeah.
He just said, man. He like,
Yeah.
man, he ain't hitting it right.
Sound like little Chris saying that, man.
That's little Chris all day. He ain't hitting it right, man.
Oh
Well, the
my
funny thing is,
goodness.
out of the chat, a lot of people say they hate BET, which again, I'm not
I
advocating
hate BET
BET,
too,
but
man. Yeah.
let's just be
Hey.
real. BET was Black Entertainment Television, and it was a channel that popped up on people's cable subscription. So I don't remember, this. Granted, the internet isn't what it was, back then, what it is now, but it's like I don't remember a whole bunch of people protesting BET, and who cares if they did? You got
I used to
plenty of
watch
other,
BET like
you got
crazy.
plenty of other channels to watch, so
Right.
there you go. Just
Hey,
because
I ain't gonna. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, it's I've never understood that though. It's like, and not even get into the whole race thing, but it's like, okay, if you're a group that's been in kind of charge of most stuff for I don't know, forever, who cares if like these other smaller groups are getting some of their own stuff? You should be happy with that. It's like you ain't quote unquote carrying them anymore. Like let us have the Univisions and the black cable networks and the Asian cable networks and channels and whatnot, because that's what the world is like nowadays.
Right.
Let's just be real. I'm
Nobody ain't saying
sorry.
I'm a Bollywood, but they biting their style.
Exactly. It's like, I'm sorry to inform you that, the world is a lot of different people of a lot of different colors, backgrounds, creeds, religions, this and that. So I'm sorry that Instagram and Twitter and the internet has like suddenly brought all these people to your doorstep, but damn it, that's how it is. Deal with it.
Exactly.
Right.
Quit being
Right.
a little bitch.
So
No, that
anyway,
fast
people.
food. That's what's getting.
Yeah. So anyway, people. One of the things that was in the chat that were saying that one reason that you be checking out Lucifer is to see GQ's twin brother Amenadiel played by DB Woodside. Now let's take a look at my man DB Woodside, people. Does he look like GQ to y'all?
Oh, you're talking about that one dude? Wasn't he in the
He
third
was in Buffy the
barbershop movie?
Vampire Slayer for a little while. Yeah. What? He was in what?
Oh, that
There
guy.
is that
No,
picture.
nah, we are not twins. Because he was on he showed up in Suits, which to me, Suits is my favorite show.
Okay.
Period.
Yeah.
Bar
Suits
none,
is a
end
damn
of
good show.
story.
I ain't gonna front.
I can watch Suits all day, every day, and be good. But no, he
Hey,
is
what
not
are
my
you at?
twin.
Temptation?
I mean, damn,
Probably
he
will.
looks like you, bruh. I mean, he does look like you, man. So
Hey, man, he was a
He
temptation
might
in that
he might
movie,
look
bro.
like him a little bit, but you guys right now, it just hit me in the brain because I saw what time it is, and there's one TV show that you, Mister Super Nerd, and myself,
Yes.
Rick and Morty,
Oh, what up,
you
dog?
know, out of the
Uh-huh.
What's up with that
animation,
Mulan Szechuan teriyaki
he
sauce?
said,
It
I
takes
just
9 fucking seasons.
I did it for the Mulan, Morty. If it takes 94
Uh,
seasons, we're gonna get that Mulan.
Right.
That show right there.
yes, Rick and Morty. I totally forgot about Rick and
Animated,
Morty.
it's one of the best, not just animated, but
Yes,
just
it
one
is.
of the best.
One of the
It's the
best
best animated show,
cartoon.
period. But it's just one of the best shows on television,
Yo,
period.
man.
I can't wait
Yo,
for the rest of the season.
If you know who Taddy Mason is, don't even talk to me, son.
Is it Teddy Mason? He said, "Who's
No,
the
Jerry,
host?"
it's not Taddy
It's
Mason.
not Teddy Mason. I was like sitting there like, Jerry, shut the fuck up. Is it Teddy Mason?
He said Taddy. He's like, Morty,
that
what are you
you?
doing with Taddy? He's like, Dad,
Right.
shut the fuck up.
I'm not gonna lie.
Right.
Rick and Morty is really, really good.
It's a
Like
funny
I
show,
normally,
man.
yeah,
It is a
normally
funny
like
show.
because I remember I watched it a few times with Dido, and I'm like, at first I'm like, why do they look like Marty and my man
and
Doc Brown? And it was
Yeah.
just like,
Oh,
oh, okay,
joke.
that's it's like that's exactly. It was like that's the joke. So I'm like, okay. So I'm sitting back and I'm like, holy shit, this is really clever. And like this, like the episodes are just good. So I mean, I miss that type of stuff. Is Boondocks was another one that was like, well, Boondocks was
Oh
just
my
good. Period.
god, I missed
Yeah,
the
yeah,
But
that was a
like,
great show.
yeah, but like Rick and Morty is really well done, and it's
Yes.
got a lot of like pop culture drops in there, and it's like, look, if you sharp eyed and know what you're looking for, it's a treasure trove of stuff in that show.
And I think what it is, because sometimes they go off script and just start talking like the Gazorp, like what is it, the Garfield one?
Garfield, yeah, they were
Gazorp
freaking
feed.
laughing while he was
They
talking.
were laughing
He's
through
like,
the whole
fuck you,
thing.
John. He was like, fuck you, John. And he was like,
It's like
why do you gotta be so harsh? Fuck you.
he said we called him white milk toast, white guilt. Dude, I've never heard nobody say no shit like that in my life. Like I couldn't stop laughing.
Oh, my
Then
God.
like I like when they stutter and talk. Like he
Yeah.
said Garfield, Gazorp feel like when people actually talk, like that cracks me up the most. Because they
Yeah.
talk how people actually, they fuck up a sentence and they try to, change it up and they just mess it up. It's dope.
I think
Yeah.
the improv. I think the improv is part of the reason, though. It's just like if you're able to get like two, especially because obviously they're the main characters, so they got a lot of screen time and a lot of FaceTime with each other in the vocal booth. So I think when you can have that back and forth between two voice actors, basically that camaraderie, it makes it work and it makes it feel real.
Well, it's
You know,
him.
it's
but
like-
It's one guy
it's the
though.
same guy. It's one guy.
It's
Really?
fucking Harmon.
Yeah.
Yeah. He does both
Oh,
Rick and
okay.
Morty, and it's just
Okay.
like
Well,
No,
he-
it's Justin Roiland. He's the creator of Rick and Morty. He does
that was
both
Dan
voices.
Harmon.
No, Dan Harmon does
well, if
Bird
that's
Person.
okay, if that's the case, then he just knows how to write really well. Just like
Yeah.
Tarantino, Tarantino writes conversation really well.
Right.
Like, that's part of the reason I really like about it. Tarantino. You can sit back and look at the conversation. It's like, man, I probably had that conversation with some of y'all before.
Mhm.
So I mean, okay, I did not realize it was two. See, more good on him because that means he fooled me into thinking he was two different people.
Yeah.
One
Yeah.
guy, Justin Roiland, man, and he had a bunch of other stuff prior to him because I heard Fox passed on the show.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
I'm glad they
bunch of
did.
network, yeah, I'm glad they did. A lot of networks passed on him because they said it was just too out there.
Yeah.
First, Adult Swim.
Adult Swim
Network
didn't give
picked
no
it up.
shit. Yeah, they ain't give
Right.
two fucks about that. So yeah, a lot of people are saying, honestly, Samurai Jack is another one now that it's back. I never
I
watched
just
Samurai
started
Jack
I saw a few.
when it first
I
came
saw a
on.
few
So
episodes.
yeah,
I just started watching Samurai Jack based
My
on a
daughter loves it.
recommendation. Based on a recommendation of two people who may or may not be watching. They're also in the Junkieverse. Sabrina told me about it, and they have it on Hulu. All of the old stuff is on Hulu.
Oh really? It's
Today,
on Hulu?
yeah, all of it. So I
Okay.
watched the first episode yesterday, second episode today. It's my lunch work show where I'm going to slowly go through Samurai Jack, and it's a
Yeah.
really good show. And I like to see a little bit more because the first two episodes, like Phil Lamar, obviously he has like hardly no dialogue, so he's making some bread, on not talking. I wish I could do that.
Yeah, right. All right. Well, obviously you hear the music. It's about time for us to get out of here. New episode of Flash tonight. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is one of the best shows that are going to be that are obviously on TV, is going to be coming on tonight. We're supposed to be finding out who Savitar is, so that's going to definitely be something worth watching. So honestly, GQ, real fast. Recap. What are we going to be doing on this Saturday coming up?
Like I said, going to be getting started about 10 in the morning. Make sure you're there. You will get to see us in person, in the flesh. You will also have opportunities to get obviously free comics. And you might even be able to get on the show if you got something interesting to say. So I mean, we'll be streaming live for 3 hours. I can't talk for 6 hours straight. excessive. Spoiler alert, I'm Savitar. So there you go.
There it is. Mystery solved, people. There it is. Is Hulu no longer free? I don't think it is, or at least it's not free if you're paying for the Hulu Plus subscription. In any case, it doesn't matter. If you're gonna watch the free comic book day stream, go find our friends at Green Brain Comics, like their page, or go to our YouTube channel. That's where we're going to be broadcasting at, on both the Green Brain Facebook page and on our YouTube channel. For GQ, for the Super Nerd, and for Dadakuji, I'm Kishiro. We'll see you guys next week. Hope you go out and watch Guardians of the Galaxy and enjoy Free Comic Book Day at your local comic book shop. Support local businesses. We out here. We out here.